evening. I'm Chris Matthews in Washington. Let me start tonight with this. The big story of Governor Christie's 2-hour defense yesterday was what he didn't say. Why did a governor of a state, a man clearly with his eyes and heart on the White House, fail to ask anyone, anywhere, anytime, what the hell was going on at the George Washington Bridge? When traffic stopped for hours, day after day after day after day, when the Democrats in Trenton were raising hell, when the media was jumping all over the story, when his two top guys over at the Port Authority were forced to resign, when all this was popping on the front page and raging in the nightly news, this big bear of a politician, this guy who dominates the scene, not once asked what the hell was happening. Not only that, he openly and sarcastically refused to ask any questions. Here he is on December 19th, 3 months into this Donnybrook, still refusing to act or ask or think to do anything that might alert him, publicly alert him, to what his people had been up to.
You guys all want to keep chasing around, and it's your business. But I'm not running around doing independent investigation. I'm not a prosecutor anymore. I'm the governor.
I'm not going to conduct an investigation. Well, this is my question, and this is my theory of the whole matter. I think Governor Christie may have been careful yesterday in laying out a story that will stand up for him as narrowly as he defines it. He didn't think anything wrong had been done from September on. And when the traffic jam started up through December, and then he gave his staff a 1-hour window to come clean and went out there and said they were clean. Well, you have to wonder why this big, boisterous, take-charge guy had so little interest in knowing what he had to take charge of. And the only other explanation is that Governor Christie simply didn't care about the biggest mess of his political career. Didn't care about the smell of trouble that had surrounded him, even as he minced his way toward a run for the country's highest office. And that's an explanation I can't buy. Chris Christie's story these past few days, like fellow Republicans defending him, where are they? Anyway, the head of the Republican Governors Association has had a glaring lack of Republican governors rallying around him, and that's Christie. He's had some support. U.S. Congressman Michael Grimm yesterday came on Hardball to back him up. Rudy Giuliani is also out there for him. And, of course, surprisingly, Governor Nikki Haley's a pal of his, apparently, from down in South Carolina. But those are the small exceptions. Most Republicans have been holding back, not giving an inch of help to this guy. And some have taken the opportunity to actually attack him. Catch this. Here's Lindsey Graham. He told NBC News' Casey Hunt yesterday that the scandal, quote, reinforces a narrative that's troublesome about the guy. He's kind of a bully. You know, being candid and forthright and speaking truth to power is one narrative, but the other narrative is, you know, he's a transactional politician. He rewards his friends and he punishes his enemies. Well, later, Senator Graham backtracked a bit, saying he was impressed by Christie's press conference yesterday. He handled it as well as he could. Well, that's certainly minimal. Meanwhile, Rand Paul, a potential rival for the 2016 nomination against Christie, joked about the scandal when he was asked during a White House walkout yesterday.
I don't know who emailed who and who works for whom, and I have been in traffic before that. I know how angry I am when I'm in traffic, and I'm always wondering, who did this to me?
He didn't bother to stop. But anyway, Christie has never shied away from bashing his fellow Republicans. Is he suffering the consequences of that now? You know what goes around? A lie. I don't accuse him of lying at all. Never have. What I do think is he never explained why he never showed any curiosity from September all the way through December about what seemed to have been the work of his staff and his appointees at the Port Authority. That's what, to me, is the dog that hasn't barked here, to use
yeah, but I don't think, I think that is a serious question, but I'm not sure that's that will disqualify him as a candidate. But if one of those people who are involved in this scheme says, well, as a matter of fact, yes, I did, the governor did know about it, you know, that's obviously a game, set, and match.
That's Wildstein and what we're worried about there. Let's go to the Republican side. It's a little more nuanced, David, and it seems to me, my hunch is, the guy plays outside the pocket. He's a scrambler. He breaks all the rules. Most politicians play inside the pocket. They play it carefully. They work with their own side. Here's the guy that went out and worked with President Obama right at the end of the campaign last year for president and did his own thing. Now they seem to not like that.
Well, they also, I think some people feel like he was a little too helpful to the president at a critical time, and that's the Romney campaign, but I think it goes a little bit beyond that as well. You know, some of it is about ideology, but I think that most of it is about personality, and I think that there is a big ideological fight in the Republican Party right now, but I think the big test for Christie still remains personality, leadership, temperament. And it's why this cultural question that you raised, Chris, I do think matters a lot, which is, you know, these are not people that he knew for 20 minutes. These are people who have worked for him for a long time. Yeah. And yet there was the cryptic nature of these emails that there was just, it just had to be queued up. So is this just a rogue operation that took root underneath him without him knowing, or without him sort of sending cues that this would be okay, that this would be acceptable, this is how we do things? I think that's the thing that ultimately becomes a leadership.
Back to Hardball on time for the sideshow. While few have come to Christie's defense, Steve Colbert announced last night that he's standing by the embattled governor, perhaps all the way to 2016.
Now I realize he's the kind of leader I can get behind. The kind who says, it's my way or I shut down your highway. Christie is a true conservative. He is committed to proving the core conservative value that government is the problem, even if he has to create those problems himself. I can already see his 2016 bumper sticker, Christie, bringing America together or I will you over. Best of all, his team will make sure you have plenty of time to read those bumper stickers.
But those Bridgegate issues right now, they're calling it, may prove especially damaging to a guy like Christie since it reinforces the very image he sought to downplay. That of a schoolyard bully. It's a label he tried again to shed in his press conference yesterday. But as Jon Stewart pointed out last night, sometimes your reputation really does precede you.
This is not the tone that I've set over the last 4 years in this building. It's not the environment I've worked so hard to achieve.
Intimidation, vengeance, vitriol, that's not the tone.
Damn, man, I'm governor. Could you just shut up for a second?
No, that's not it. Hold on. Try that one.
Did I say on topic? Are you stupid?
No, not yet. Just haven't found it yet.
Okay? That's what it is.
I think I finally figured out the tone he set. F you sharp. F you!
Well, we found a few more feisty moments that The Daily Show didn't get to. Here are some of Christie's other highlights from the past 3 years.
Something may go down tonight, but it ain't going to be jobs, sweetheart. The president knew it was doomed for failure, so he didn't get involved. Well, then what the hell are we paying you for?
You don't send your children to public schools, you send them to private schools, so I was wondering why you think it's fair to be cutting school funding to public schools.
What's her name? What's her name, guys? Real quick, because the governor's talking. What is it? Gail. Talk to Gail.
Hey, Gail, you know what? First off, it's none of your business. I don't ask you where you send your kids to school. Don't bother me about where I send mine. Thank you all very much, and I'm sorry for the idiot over there.